Good evening, my dear friends. I welcome you all to the Hindu Science and Technology analysis on June 19th, 2022. First, let me discuss about the Black Death. I hope everyone has heard about the 14th century Black Death. It is also named as bubonic plague. It killed almost a tenth of the Europe. It started in China and spread to Europe through merchants. The Black Death affected three parts of the body. That is, the Black Death was pneumonic, that is, affecting the lungs, the bubonic, that is, affecting the lymph nodes and causing swelling in the skin. And the third one, which is most dangerous, is septic, that is, affecting the blood. So, the Black Death was the major disaster in Europe in the 14th century, and now the scientists have discovered the bacteria which caused the Black Death. A bacteria named Yersinia pestis was responsible for the Black Death. Let us look at the picture of Yersinia pestis. Friends, this is the picture of Yersinia pestis. It perched on the flies which lived on rats, and these flies spread this Yersinia pestis bacteria onto the human beings. When the flies perched on the bodies of human beings carrying Yersinia pestis, the human beings got affected with black plague, my dear friends. This is another write-up with regard to the Black Death. It says the bubonic plague, it is called bubonic plague also, originated in the 1330s in China, which spread to Italy in 1347 by the fleas who lived on black rats. They traveled to Italy by trading ships. Millions of people died. The Black Death caused famine and riots. Peasants rebelled after disease left for a short period of time because there weren't enough people to work. Such was the deadly effect. Friends, the bubonic plague, also known as Black Death, was a highly contagious disease. Contagious disease means spreading like the epidemic. It was spread by fleas, and these fleas lived on rats. Shortly after a person is bitten by a flea, they developed swellings and black sores in the body. In a few days, victims died in agony. Bubonic plague was an epidemic. Epidemic means restricted to only Europe. An outbreak that spread quickly and affected a large number of people. As I said, it killed 1/10 of the European population, my dear friends. So, such deadly was the 14th century Black Death, and it was the Black Century. What is this quantum mechanics, my dear friends? It is the study of the properties of the subatomic particles, that is, electrons, neutrons, and protons. The scientists have chanced upon at IIT Mumbai and Kharagpur have chanced upon the quantum diamond microscope, a microscope which can get the image of a neuron, the changes in the neuron, which last only about milliseconds. The electromagnetic radiation, the electromagnetic waves which the microscope is able to detect is with the help of a diamond. The diamond contains a nitrogen vacancy defect center, and because of this nitrogen vacancy defect center, it is able to capture any changes, any electromagnetic changes within a fraction of a millisecond. What happens is that the neurons are fast reacting, and the actions of the neurons are just at a millisecond speed. There are lots of electromagnetic changes happening in the earth. It happens over months. That is, rocks are changing, the surface of the earth is changing, but it happens over months. It is easier to detect such electromagnetic radiations. However, what happens within the neuron actions is that it happens within milliseconds. So small a time it gets. So in order to capture the picture or image, this quantum diamond microscope is necessary. We have to appreciate the IIT Mumbai and Kharagpur that they have discovered this microscope. Friends, as can be seen from the picture, it explains the working of the microscope. This is the quantum diamond microscope, which the study of our discussion. There is a nano diamond in the microscope. Look at the center of the microscope. The nano diamond is having the NV center, that is nitrogen vacancy data center. This nitrogen vacancy data center captures any kind of electromagnetic radiation around. As the property of the diamond, it emits the fluorescent emission. You can see the red ray which is going towards the right side of the diamond. That is fluorescent emission. This fluorescent emission gets some changes when some electromagnetic waves are around it. In human brain neurons, the millisecond is what the actions take part. Therefore, the changes in the lasting for just milliseconds is making an impact on the fluorescent emission of the red waves from the nano diamond, and this captures the changes in the neuron, and the image is captured. The image which is captured is being photographed. This is the working of the quantum diamond microscope. Friends, have you heard about the Coriolis effect? Next article I am going to deal with is dealing with the oceanic heat waves, that is marine heat waves, the Coriolis effect, and the cyclone Amphan. Amphan was a super cyclone. Friends, these days super cyclones are just developing. It affected millions of lives and caused billions of dollars worth of losses, economic losses. So, what is this Coriolis effect, and what is marine heat wave, and how the cyclones are becoming so deadly? When cyclone Amphan was formed, it was seen that the Bay of Bengal was warmer at 36 degrees centigrade. What does this mean? The marine heat waves are formed when the surface temperature of the ocean is so high that it forms a low pressure above the region and just absorbs the rain winds which are blowing over it. And due to the Coriolis effect is the effect in which when the earth spins in one direction, when the winds are moving in the northern hemisphere, it deflects and goes to the western direction. And in the southern hemisphere, what happens is that when the winds are blowing and when it advances, it just deflects eastward. This is the Coriolis effect, my dear friends. And why cyclones are forming? Imagine you are sitting a merry-go-round and just tossing the balls between you and your friend. When the merry-go-round speeds up, when it is not moving, you can smoothly toss the ball to your friend and your friend to you. But when merry-go-round speeds up, the ball gets deflected. The same effect is the Coriolis effect. Because of the constant rotation of the earth, the rain winds get deflected, and when it advances, it goes to the eastward or westward direction. And how cyclones form? When it reaches the ocean surface, due to the warm heat waves, that is marine heat waves, which is causing a low pressure, it gets deflected. The winds get deflected and moves hither thither and goes circling. And this circling is speeded up by the amount of increase in the temperature. Amphan had the level 5 of the cyclone, that is the super cyclone level. It was therefore this much deadly. What causes this global warming and the marine heat waves? I need not tell you. The global warming is caused by the emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by human interaction and the industrialization. So, these huge cyclones are becoming very common in Bay of Bengal. Now it is very much common in Arabian Sea also. In the Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu coast, the bleached coral reefs are examples of the increased marine heat wave. Friends, now look at the diagram to understand the marine heat wave. In the left side of the diagram, you can see under normal conditions the sea is having the strong mixing of the upper and the lower layers of water. The normal evaporation happens and the rain comes at a very normal way. But in the right side of the diagram, you can see how the increased heat and the global warming affects the marine temperatures, and the marine heat waves arise, and there is decreased evaporation, and the rains are also very less. And under marine heat wave conditions, the uppermost layer of water and the lowermost layer of water have a weak mixing. And kindly read what is written in the diagram. Because Earth is a rotating sphere, an object moving above the surface is deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This deflection phenomenon is called Coriolis effect. This Coriolis effect is the reason for the formation of the cyclones. Just look at the diagram and see how the winds are deflecting here or there towards eastward and westward. So, the Amphan was also caused by a heavy Coriolis effect and the heavy oceanic heat waves, my dear friends.